And now take a look at this, a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where another member of Minnesota's congressional delegation is reportedly throwing his hat in the ring to become Speaker of the House. Republicans dropped Jim Jordan as their nominee today after he failed to gain enough support in a third vote. The House has been without a speaker now for more than 2 weeks.
But tonight, a source confirms multiple reports that Minnesota 6th District Congressman Tom Emmer, the Republican whip in the House, is interested in the job. Richard Reeve tells us about the chances Emmer has to get the job and the support he is already seeing.
Will he or won't he?
Tom Emmer is someone who's worked very hard in Congress to build a broad network of people.
U of M political science professor Larry Jacobs among those contemplating Emmer's political future, amid multiple reports that Minnesota's 6th District Congressman is making calls about running for House Speaker.
Tom Emmer certainly has a shot. I think he's going to have, quite a good run here. Question is, in a very tightly split Republican Party in the House of Representatives, can he get to that 217 number?
217 votes, a simple majority of the 433 members of the House. Getting to that magic number to be elected Speaker can be a challenge. Kevin McCarthy was ousted and Jim Jordan fell short. The latest vote Friday morning.
It's wide open. It's sort of like the Oklahoma land rush. Everybody's rushing.
Carleton College political science professor Steve Scheer says at least 4 members have announced they want to be Speaker, and 6 others are considering it. But what does he think about Emmer's chances?
I think he will be one of the finalists. I think he will get a significant number of votes. But I think we already know that getting to 217 is like climbing Mount Everest.
Scheer says Emmer, as majority party whip, has worked with the entire caucus and has had roles helping many GOP members get elected. We wondered what Emmer, as Speaker, would do for Minnesotans.
With the speakership comes control and power over money, government authority.
He will have an eye towards benefits for his state in any legislation that passes the House.
Jacobs says Emmer's advantage is that he's well known to House members, but he notes that didn't help either McCarthy or Jordan.
There's certainly pressure building on Republicans to find a leader, but the Republican factions also have very strong convictions, and I don't expect to see any of those factions folding their tent.
We reached out to members of Minnesota's congressional delegation for comment. Republican Brad Finstad says he supports Emmer as Speaker. Democrat Betty McCollum will continue to support Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. She says House Republicans are expected to vote as soon as Tuesday. Live in the newsroom, Richard Reeve, 5 Eyewitness News.